Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mokwana and thank you so much for deciding to be part of this community. If you're watching for the first time, this channel covers everything from psychology, mental health, faith and graduate content. So if that is something that you would like to watch going further, kindly hit the subscribe button. Give this video a massive thumbs up if you like it, and put some nice comment in the comment section, because I really like engaging with my community. And if you find the content useful, share it with a friend. So today we are talking about actually I'm answering a question that many of you have been asking me, and I think I've answered some individuals, and if I did not respond to you, well, this is your response. And the question was, how do you successfully conduct a postgraduate research? And initially I was like, research is research, what do you mean? Like, get a supervisor and let that person guide you. It really is that simple. But then I remembered that I was actually an honor student twice. I dealt with different supervisors and different supervisor dynamics. I was once a master's student and now I'm a PhD student. And interestingly, as a PhD student and also working for a research council, research is now no longer just an academic obligation, but it's part of my everyday life, which for me is an advantage. Hence I'm finding it easy, and was initially tempted to just say research is research. But then I remembered I had so many interesting stories of how some individuals would do their masters longer, some would even quit, some would register and get discouraged along the way and start feeling like the whole research journey was not worth it. And some are just winging it and hoping that by the end of the year they just get to submit and get their mark and get over with research. So I have written down 10 tips which I think if you consider would not only make your research experience fulfilling, but would also help you get a good mark and maybe consider research as a career. So let's get started. So the first one is always choose a research topic of your interest and then explore what has been written on that subject. What do I mean? I'm going to give an example. So I am currently a psychology student. So that means by default, I'm expected to conduct research within a broad spectrum of psychology. So that means research on how people think, feel, and behave. Basically, cognitive processes. But that shouldn't be a limitation. When you are a research student, you are supposed to be having some form of interest. And I believe that's why you are enrolled for the course that you're doing. And even if that's not what you want to study, there is actually a reason why you are now advancing to postgraduate studies. And that reason, for some people, might actually be their research interest. So, what is it that you're curious about? What is it that you want to know? What is it that you want to solve? How do you think you are going to solve that? And essentially, that's what research is about. And if you are able to answer that question, somehow you will know exactly what interests you in research. For example, I'm interested in maternal mental health, but specifically within the context of disability. Somebody else may be interested in substance use amongst high school or university students. That is still mental health. So essentially, that's what a research topic could emanate. So once you've decided that you are interested in maybe depression amongst new mothers, you can then read on or explore on what has been written. So you need to consult published literature or grey literature to be able to see what other researchers have done. So that means you'll not be the first person, and there is no way you will be the only person who has thought of that idea. So that means you have to read, and you are reading specifically because you are trying to understand two things. What has been done? You can start internationally, nationally, locally, and where was it done and how? And that's a key to identifying a research gap, because you don't want to repeat the research that has been conducted. You want to contribute to knowledge. You want to bring something innovative. Let's get to point number 2. Every university has a list of people who are actively involved in research, in this case, potential supervisors. And these lists are published on the departmental website. Let's say I am a lecturer. You would find my profile on the website saying Mrs. Mwakwana, and then she specializes in mental health, specifically maternal mental health in the context of disability, right? So you need to be able to go and check out that list. And why is it important to go and check out the list? You need to check that list so that you are able to align your interest and that of the potential supervisor. You don't want to find yourself in a position where you are bringing your own idea, forcing them to somebody who's already a specialist in a particular area. Because in my experience, such a supervisor-supervisee relationship never really works. You have to understand that researchers, in this case, your university lecturers, are building their research profiles. They are becoming research specialists. That means they're becoming experts in particular fields or areas of their discipline. Like I've indicated, let's say I am a maternal mental health specialist. It would be very easy for me to work with students who are aligning to those research interests. Why? Because I am knowledgeable and I know what is happening within the field. But if you bring your own topic, chances are both of us will be learners, which might delay your progress, because even your supervisor is learning this new topic. And that is why it's very important that at a postgraduate level, you're not just interested in studying at a particular university, but you are interested in studying at an institution where somebody specializes in the areas of your research interest, unless you're open to exploring. That is still not a problem. So now let's get to points number 3. Once you have identified your research topic, you have read on it, you have seen the list of supervisors, and you have identified your potential supervisor, then contact that person either through email, or if the person is in your current university, you can set up an appointment and see that person. When you get there, inform the person of what you are trying to do and how you are hoping that them being your supervisor would enhance or contribute significantly to your research project as compared to being supervised by someone else. Further, when you meet up with your potential supervisor, it is important that you discuss their supervision style, because a lot of times you get to have this supervisor-supervisee dynamics that do not really end well because roles were not discussed and expectations were not met. And a lot of times this is experienced towards the end of the year when a research report is expected and there is no progress. Now people want to change supervisors and it's a mess. I know a lot of universities do have supervisor-supervisee contracts, but most people do not adhere to them. So you really want to talk to your potential supervisor about such dynamics so that you understand the type of a person you will be working with. And finally, when you meet up with your supervisor, it is very important to discuss the practicality of the research that you're trying to undertake. A lot of us, when we get into postgraduate studies, we are extremely overambitious. We are trying to take on big projects, to execute ideas that are not feasible and are not practical in a sense of time constraints, budget constraints, because a lot of people actually forget that they are honors, master students, or even PhD students, and that time you actually have a limited time to submit your report. Your report is needed in a year or in 2 years, and you find people trying to do studies with minors, vulnerable groups, studies which would just delay them in terms of ethical consideration. Try to talk to your supervisor about making your research as simple as possible. If you are interested in big projects, complicated projects, honestly join a research council once you're a qualified researcher, and you would have an ample of time to do that. But at an honors level and master's level, that would just delay you, honestly. Now let's move to point number 4. Always check how other students who have passed wrote their dissertations or their research report. All universities have databases where they keep reports that have been marked and students have graduated, and that's why if you take someone's dissertation, copy it and hope you would pass, you might be caught. I'm not encouraging you all to go and steal other people's work. I'm encouraging you to go and read those dissertations so that you are able to see what type of work they're expecting you to hand at the end of the year. Like I said, just look for electronic dissertations on the university website, usually in the library, and that would really come in handy. Point number 5. Always read academic journals. And when you do that, write in your own words what you understood, or summarize in your own words what you understood from those articles. So obviously those articles have to be relevant to what you are researching. Point number 7, and this one is related to the previous point. So when you read journal articles, always note what you agree and disagree with, and justify why you agree or disagree. And this is what a lot of people call having your voice in your own research work. It's also a crucial skill in academic writing, in a sense that that's where new ideas and contributions are made by you as a researcher, which would probably score you better marks as compared to just putting ideas after ideas and then putting a citation at the end of each paragraph. While I'm still on this point, I'm reminded that a lot of students do not even use the university resources. Do you know that universities are actually subscribed and paying a lot of money for you to be able to have access to these academic journals? Your free scholars, your PubMed, your EBSCOhost, a lot of money is being paid, and money that is actually from your school fees. So make use of those databases that universities are paying for. Don't be lazy and don't waste your money. Point number 8, make use of academic softwares that have been designed to improve your academic writing. This includes reference managers such as EndNote, Zotero, grammar checkers such as Grammarly, paraphrasing tools such as Quillbot. And if you have money, like go premium. Honestly, like go premium. But I have to say something here, because a lot of people would copy and paste information from let's say an academic journal into Quillbot and paraphrase that and put that into like a Word document. Well, you might get away with that, but if you really want to be good in academic writing, always summarize what you have read, and then you can put those ideas into Quillbot, especially if you are not an English first speaker, because that would really enhance your English. So always use academic softwares to your advantage and not to your disadvantage. Point number 9, always schedule time for research. You know, the way you schedule time for doing your assignments, reading for exams, or reading for class discussions, always schedule time for research. I usually do my research 3 to 4 times a week. Have a timetable and prioritize your research. And I'm telling you, if you do that and you commit and you use that time effectively, by the end of the year, you will be done with your research report. And one thing I've noticed is how overwhelming it is to actually try to focus on multiple sections during those scheduled time. And I found it to be very effective to allocate specific times for specific chapters. So what I would usually do would be like on my day 1, maybe I just specifically focus on introduction and make sure that I'm done with the introduction before moving to literature review or the methodology. Last one would be attend academic trainings on ethics, trainings on academic writing, trainings on different research methodologies. Those are the skills you will probably not get in a class that would really enhance your report writing. So if you get a chance, attend those things. They would really help you. And the bonus one would be, guys, when you agree with your supervisor that you are submitting on Monday, please submit on Monday, and don't submit at 16 hours. Like, submit in the morning, at least before 12. And if you know you're not going to meet the deadline, tell your supervisor at least a day in advance that you will not meet the deadline due to the following reasons, and reschedule. That way your supervisor would take you seriously and take your work seriously and prioritize your work. It's very discouraging to be working with an inconsistent person, especially because supervisors are not just supervising one person. Usually they have like 5 to 8 students, and if you're not serious and you're not taking your own work serious and you're not taking their time seriously, chances are they will also not prioritize you. So take yourself seriously and take your work seriously, and take the people who are helping you seriously. So that brings us to the end of the video. If you have any question, put that into the comment section. Point of clarity you want to say, put that into the comment section. From me to you, good night. Bye.